Hey everyone, Jordan here at Totally Board, and in today's video, we'll be going through my friend Frank's top 10 board games of all time. So throughout this video, basically, Frank's going to be going through his top 10. He's going to start with number 10. We're both going to write the number 10 down. I'm going to write what I think his number 10 is, and then we'll reveal it at the same time. And if I get 2 of these right on the whole list, then I get $10. But if I can't get any of them right, or if I get less than 2, then Frank gets $10. So I guess we can see how it goes.
So my number 10 is Dead of Winter.
Oof, I was wrong.
Dead of Winter.
Dang it.
I really love the social aspect of Dead of Winter, and it wasn't that complicated of a game, and I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead and zombies, and having that social dynamics and communicating with your teammates, and having that one person who's going to potentially betray you is very interesting to have that conversation with people. So that's why it's my number 10.
Nice. Well, yeah, Dead of Winter, I love it too. I think it's a really good game. I love that aspect of, whether or not you don't even know if there's a betrayer in your game, because during the setup you can potentially shuffle a betrayer card in there, but you don't actually know. So I love that aspect of Dead of Winter, and I feel like the zombie theme is all around like super interesting, super accessible. I think a lot of people like that theme.
For my number 9 pick, I chose to do Pandemic.
Dang it.
That was a good one.
Dang it.
That was a good one. And Mage Knight was going to be my number 10.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So why'd you choose Pandemic? It's a good game.
So Pandemic was one of the first ones that I really enjoyed for being relatively new to board games as a whole. And it's really simple, and I enjoyed having the co-op aspect of it and not just trying to play against each other.
Yeah.
And it's fun because it's also, we were going through a pandemic too, not too long ago. True. And having the different roles and trying to help each other out and talking to each other to try to save the pandemic, to cure the diseases, and working together.
Yeah, no, I agree. Pandemic's definitely a classic too. I'm playing through Pandemic Legacy, which I've talked to you about.
I know.
Trying to not spoil anything, but you 100% need to play that, because I think that could be like top 3 for you.
Yeah.
Just because how much you like Pandemic, I think that's a really good pick.
All right, for my number 8 pick, I chose Skate Summer.
Dang it!
You wrote, that was a good one. Yeah.
I thought you write an S, I think. You were like,
I
was like, oh, I think I got it right.
Yeah. And
dang it.
Secret Hitler was a really good pick, because I didn't choose that one because to me it's only for party games.
Yeah.
And it's kind of specific into what you're doing. And that's why I didn't have Ready, Set, Bet or Secret Hitler, even though I really enjoy those games.
So it's like more situational.
Yeah, it's more situational party games. And I didn't think it would be up there because sometimes I'm not in the mood to play a party game. It's kind of like Mario Party on the Wii. It's just, I'm not going to play it by myself, or I'm not going to play it with a small group of friends.
Right.
So I chose Skate Summer because I would definitely play this a lot with any small group of friends I have. And Skate Summer is just really fun. I like the dice rolling aspect. I'm a big dice roller. I love...
He's a fan of Ameritrash.
Yes, I love American games. I'm not a big fan of European style games because I like the luck aspect.
Yeah.
Of games, and Skate Summer is just, I love the riskiness you could take on
the push your luck
aspect. And it's really fun because if you're a beginner to a game, you can pull off crazy things if it doesn't really require too much skill, and I like that aspect.
That's awesome. No, Skate Summer, I'm actually really glad that made your top 10. I didn't include it because I just didn't know how much you liked it, but it's a really good game. If you guys like Quacks of Quedlinburg, Skate Summer is a similar game, a push your luck style game, where you're essentially playing Tony Hawk, the video game, but in board game form, and you're trying to pull together as many combos as you can without bailing, and it's super fun. Love that game.
All right, my number 7 is Planet Unknown.
Oh, it was one off, dude.
Dude, yes. Undaunted is a really good one.
I think go ahead.
Planet Unknown, I really enjoyed playing that one because everyone else has. It's really simple version of Feast of Odin where you have to cover up a page and each person has their own square. And I had fun with trying to move around the rover, spinning the pieces, and having the commentary that's where you kind of talk smack to each other for taking your little piece because you had to plan your own, and there's a lot of conversation still with that board game.
Yeah, kind of without that. Yeah, there's a lot of like indirect player interaction, but it can create that conversation because that when you're stealing those tiles from someone or you're making them take a tile that sucks, they're like, bro, what are you doing?
Exactly. It's like, oh, you gave me a crappy one.
Yeah, and me and Frank we're talking mad crap any game we play, and so we've somehow managed to include trash talking in Planet Unknown, which is which is like one of the least confrontational player interaction games, but that's a really good game. That's a solid pick. Oh, I probably got it wrong already, but I wrote my response. So all right, this is number 6.
So number 6, I have Marvel Champions.
Oh, dang it, bro.
The crew? Yeah.
Dang it. Okay.
So, Marvel Champions, I really enjoyed playing it. And it's a fun co-op game. It's just card-based. And it's really simple to play with a beginner. And it's easy to learn. And you're playing with all these different superheroes. I enjoy playing as Spider-Man, getting that expansion. Also Black Panther. It's a lot of fun with trying to strategize together and trying to thwart and getting kind of frustrated when things are
spiraling out of control.
Spiraling out of control. And it's fun working together, and it's difficult to win, so each win feels earned, and it feels like you had a good co-op with it.
That's a good point. No, I agree. I think it's really thematic, and I actually... in one of my previous videos, I talked about how the Lord of the Rings living card game replaced Marvel Champions for me. But that was a few months ago when I made that video. But Marvel's already coming back. And I just think it does such a good job of making it feel thematic. And like you really feel like you're that superhero when you're playing the cards.
Yeah.
And that game's awesome. That's good to see that so high up.
I still think you know my top 3. I still think you know
I might. Because I haven't mentioned any of these yet.
Yeah. And I think you got my top 3. But I know you're not going to get this next one.
You don't think so?
I think you might have gotten it.
You're trying to like hear me write it?
Yeah, I think you got it.
Okay. All right. Number
5.
Big 5. We're already at the top 5. Sweet.
So, my number 5 pick is The Crew.
Dang it.
I thought you wrote it down.
I'm one off every time.
The Crew is... I really enjoy The Crew because I grew up playing spades. And I love those trick-taking games, card games. And I used to play it all the time growing up. And The Crew just adds an objective aspect. And you're trying to work together. Instead of spades, it's you play with one teammate and you can't communicate. But The Crew is completely different, where you have to work together in order to complete objectives. And it starts off really easy, but as you add more and more objectives, it becomes very tricky, and you need that communication aspect. Yeah, yeah.
The Crew was one of the earlier games we played, I think, right?
Yeah.
Probably the 3rd or 4th game we played together, maybe.
Yeah, it was pretty early.
Yeah, it's a good game. I'm not like the biggest fan. You already know about that. I'm not the biggest fan of trick-taking games, but I do see the appeal of The Crew, and I can understand why it's so highly rated. It's top. I think both The Crew, what is it called? Planet Quest 9 or whatever the first one is, and then also Mission Deep Sea, which is the one I own. Those are both in the top 100 on BGG, so that obviously is like a sign in itself. So yeah, that's awesome. Good pick. We are on now to number 4.
So for my number 4 pick, I did Undaunted. So Undaunted is Zombie Side's good too. Undaunted is I like the 1v1 aspect of Undaunted, and it has my favorite aspect, dice rolling and taking risk and moving your troops along. And I love talking crap with Jordan when playing with him. And it's just a lot of fun. You got to plan your supply, and then you adjust moving your troops based off of what he does, and you have to focus on your objectives. It's a lot of thinking and conversation involved.
Yeah.
And I think it balances out nicely.
Yeah, and if you guys are unfamiliar with Undaunted, it's a deck building skirmish game. So you're facing off against one other person, or it could be 2v2 if you have the expansion, the reinforcements expansion. But yeah, that's also a pretty early game we played, and man, we had some crazy games. I know there was one time where you came over and I just annihilated you with the dice rolls. Every single time was it,
and I was just rolling nothing but bad rolls, and I wasn't hitting anything. And then the next night I came over, complete opposite. I was just rolling. I was just rolling nice rolls, and he was getting nothing.
Yeah, that game's, I love it. Undaunted's so good. I think it was number 9 or 10 on my top 10, so it's up there as well. Yeah, Undaunted's awesome. We have now reached the top 3, so it's a big moment.
All right, for my number 3 pick, I did Nemesis Lockdown. Oh, you got it!
Yes, got it! All right.
So, Nemesis Lockdown is very much, I like to call it like Dead by Daylight. And it is where you're kind of exploring the area. It's very unknown of what you're exploring, and you're getting chased by the aliens. And I love that you can either work together or you can betray your people and focus more on yourself and make sure you escape. It is solo based, but you can work together to try to make sure everyone survives.
Yeah, they call it semi-cooperative.
Semi-cooperative.
Yep.
And so that one is so much fun to play with your friends. And then there's the infected aspect. You don't know if you're infected. You can risk wasting a turn to see if you're infected.
Right.
Or you can move towards your objective and try to get an escape pod, go in the bunker. But then if you're infected, you lose the game. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of thinking, and a lot of talking with your people. And you can either work together or you can betray them.
And just to clarify, you're talking about Nemesis Lockdown, right?
Yeah, Nemesis Lockdown.
So this is the sequel to Nemesis, and on Nemesis Lockdown, you're actually on a Mars facility.
Yeah.
And you have to implement there's a lot of different things that are implemented in this game that aren't in the first, like power, for example. So you're having to manage 4 levels of power, essentially. You have 3 different sections and then the elevator. And so you have all these things you're managing on top of kind of worrying whether or not the people you're playing with are going to stab you in the back or not.
Yeah, and also the characters can affect whether you can really trust them. Like, for example, the hacker can adjust the power for his facility only. And he could make sure he can complete the objectives only. Or you can just be a gun-ho, like, survivor soldier. And you can focus on getting your weapons, doing your mission, and then getting out.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
Nice. That's a good pick, man. Yeah, Nemesis is super good. I kind of feel like it's like Dead of Winter, but on crack.
Yeah.
It's like it elevates it to the next level because you don't have one betrayer. You have like potentially 4 other betrayers.
Exactly.
In a full 5-player game. So yeah, great pick. Awesome. Got one right too. So we're one step closer to $10.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we had a banger of a number 3. So what about your number 2?
So my number 2 pick is one I'm pretty sure he might get. Pretty sure he's gonna get right, but it is Zombicide.
Dang it!
Oh, that one is high.
So the reason, real quick before you get into yours, we played Mansions of Madness yesterday.
Yeah.
And you really liked it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, maybe you really liked it. You were like, that game's awesome.
I'm a big fan of that game, but I didn't update my list. I kept my list the same before we played this.
Got it.
I didn't want to change any answers or do anything.
That's fair.
It's definitely.
I think you changed it last minute because you knew I was going to guess this, and you wanted the $10. Okay, so Zombicide, yeah. Why?
I chose Zombicide because that one was one of my favorite games to play together with multiple people. I played it with your nephew Hayden, and it was a lot of fun just playing. It's easy to learn, and it's one of those games, very simple. I think you called it a beer chips kind of...
Beer and pretzels is kind
Beer
of
and
the
pretzels.
term. Yeah, which is basically, if you guys are unfamiliar with Zombicide, there's really 3 things you can do. You can move your character, you can search, or you can attack. That's pretty much it. So very straightforward.
It keeps it so simple, yet you can do so much with it. And it doesn't require too much thinking like Nemesis does, or most of the more complicated games that I've played. It's just bare simple, and you can do so much with it, and having great conversation. And I love that even though you're not supposed to be a betrayer, but you could still mess people over. Jordan got so mad at me because I rolled and I accidentally shot him without saying anything.
So to explain this, in Zombicide, if you've never played it, there is a friendly fire mechanic or mechanism essentially. And basically, if you are shooting into a tile with one of your other teammates and you miss a zombie, it automatically hits your teammate. And we're playing the campaign, by the way. And right off rip, Francisco turned like 1 or 2, rolls and hits my guy in the leg. And I'm like, already limping around.
I got a little too cocky. I was confident that I could land the shot, and it was just right to his leg. And it was, I did not hit the zombie at all. But I love that aspect of it because you can just keep on playing, and you can actually survive despite those little small errors.
Yeah.
You just have to play smarter after messing up. It's not life or death for that character if you just mess up once.
True. I mean, it's pretty impactful because you only have 3 health, but you can plan and be careful. And we ended up winning, I think.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
Everyone survived.
Yeah. I was still pissed.
Yes, to this day.
I wake up every morning reenacting that in my mind.
Yeah, for some reason, and I keep telling them, let it go. It's a light wound.
I can't do it. All right, we've made it. We are down to number 1. So go ahead. What's your number 1?
So my number 1 pick is Terraforming Mars.
Let's go.
I knew he was going to get it. All right. You got your $10.
Cut the video now, dude. That's all I wanted. It was the $10.
So Terraforming Mars is one of the very first game I just loved. Like he said, I came over one night, and when I saw it, I was just thinking it was very interesting, and I never really played board games that much. And once we opened the box and we played the very first game, I just knew it was so easy for me to understand. And I think that really helped solidify why I enjoyed the game, because I personally understand how it works.
Yeah, and I should clarify, like, most people know, Terraforming Mars is no, like, slouch of a game. It's pretty heavy. I guess it's like a medium weight Euro. But for someone's basically first game, that's pretty insane. But you also do work with money, like your job. You work in finance, so maybe you said it kind of clicked a little bit.
Yeah, understanding the economy aspect, and I grew up playing StarCraft, where you have to manage a small economy, and understanding what to do, and it's just basically exchange of goods, and so easy to understand, and having the aspect of corporations in the game, and kind of changes your slight game plan, because you're come with a mindset of, you know what, I want to work with leaves. But if your corporation works with nothing but platinum, titanium, then you have to change what you want to do. Yeah. And having the cards are not the main aspect of the game, but they're pretty important for you to achieve what you want to achieve.
So that tableau that you're building up, playing the cards down.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a great engine builder. Terraforming Mars is not in my top 10, but I do like it a lot. I actually think, I'm still trying to figure out if I like Ares Expedition or Terraforming Mars better. Both really good, but...
I like Terraforming Mars more than Ares Expedition because I love the feel of the board, the feel of having more pieces up there. Cause
that area control?
Yeah, area control is just... Ares Expedition is just more playing your card and having... It's more a card builder. It feels like that.
It's mostly a tableau builder. You do have like a little central map, but all you do is flip a token. You flip the tile instead of being able to place. You don't have as much freedom in Ares Expedition.
Yeah.
So Yeah, but overall, I love Terraforming Mars. It's awesome to see it is stuck. It's been your number one, and that was like the first game you played, so that's pretty crazy too.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. I'm always down to play it, but Jordan gets tired playing it with me.
No, I'm just a firm believer that my boy Ark Nova here is better, and I'm trying to convince him to play it because they do have some overlaps. But you've already told me like you prefer. Do you prefer the space theme over Ark Nova, over animals and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like that's fair.
That's what's making me more. I like the cities. I like building the lakes and building the oceans. The zoo theme doesn't really appeal to me.
Yeah.
Which is, I know I'm not gonna love it as much because
you will.
I'm already not appealed to the theme.
Theme's a big one for a lot of people. For me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. But let's not get distracted and get away from the real number one here, Terraforming Mars. So yeah, awesome pick. That's so cool to see, man.
Yeah. Sweet. I also bought you those boards because I really love playing those games.
Dude, yeah, I remember that. So if you saw my couple videos ago, I talked about games that I've gotten rid of in my collection, and I got rid of Terraforming Mars because I gifted it to you.
Yeah.
And when we first started playing the game, Frank liked it so much he bought, like he was saying, these really super nice upgraded player boards. They're all wood etched out. I'll put a clip on here so you guys can see what they look like. They're awesome though.
Yeah, big fan of it. And then the boards just make it so much easier. I love them.
Awesome. And that wraps up Frank's top 10 board games of all time. I thought that list was absolutely incredible, and I am also $10 richer, so thanks a lot, Frank. Appreciate that. But if you guys like this video, give me a like and a subscribe, and if you hated Frank's list, feel free to roast him and me in the comments below. This is Jordan here at Totally Bored. We'll see you next time.